In every court, kingdom, and household, there lie two kinds of dangerous men, those who feel nothing and those who feel too wildly. Both can topple thrones, wreck alliances, or seize power before anyone notices. Today, we confront a question that unsettles even the wisest rulers. Are you governed by reason or driven by chaos? Are you a psychopath, a sociopath, or merely a strategist of the Machiavellian kind? In my time, princes rose and fell not by armies alone, but by their character, hidden, sharp, and often ruthless. Among them walked men who could charm a city and betray it in the same breath. They were not called psychopaths or sociopaths then, but their nature was well known. In this discourse we shall uncover their traits, measure them against your own, and reveal the danger or advantage you may unknowingly possess. In every age, whether in the courts of Florence or the corridors of modern power, certain individuals rise wearing faces that do not belong entirely to them. They carry themselves with a confidence that seems carved from marble, yet beneath that polished exterior lies a nature neither ordinary nor easily understood. When we speak of psychopaths and sociopaths, we are not merely discussing clinical terms, but unveiling two distinct masks, two styles of human deception, crafted either by birth or circumstance. And to understand them is to understand the hidden players who quietly influence the fate of families, leaders, and entire societies. Imagine two men entering a grand hall. One moves with ease, smiling softly, measuring every gesture with precision. His charm is not accidental but deliberate, like a well-placed dagger hidden beneath velvet. The other strides in with restless energy, his eyes alive with impulses he cannot fully contain. He seeks connection, yet destroys it, desires stability, yet shatters it. Both appear dangerous, yet the nature of their danger could not be more different. The psychopath is a creature shaped not by chaos but by an eerie calm. His emotional landscape is barren, untouched by storms of guilt, remorse, or fear. This emptiness grants him absolute clarity. When he studies a man, he does so with the dispassion of an architect examining a blueprint. He sees not the soul, but the structure, weak points, leverage points, and the quickest route to influence. His mask is fixed, unchanging, crafted with intention. He knows precisely how to appear loyal, compassionate, or trustworthy. Yet these displays are nothing more than tools, performed with the same calculation one uses when placing a chess piece. This mask is his greatest weapon. While others falter under the weight of emotion, he moves freely, unencumbered by conscience. In every room, his mind remains several steps ahead, constructing narratives, forming alliances, and discarding them when no longer useful. Those who fall under his charm often believe they are witnessing authentic warmth. They do not realize they have stepped into a performance, one in which the psychopath plays the lead role flawlessly. His smile is a lure, his concern an investment, his promises a transactional currency, and each gesture is designed to extract something: trust, access, power, or silence. In contrast, the sociopath's mask is not sculpted but improvised. It shifts with the heat of his emotions, never entirely secure. Where the psychopath's heart is ice, the sociopath's burns hotter than he can control. His sudden anger, his fierce attachments, his unpredictable loyalty all stem from a nature shaped by turmoil rather than emptiness. His charm, when it appears, is raw and impulsive, often persuasive because it feels unfiltered. But just as quickly as it appears, it cracks. His mask slips when provoked, revealing the volatility underneath. This is what makes the sociopath unpredictable. He desires the same things as others: recognition, belonging, influence, but lacks the stable foundation to pursue them with patience. He reacts quickly, often recklessly, striking out when slighted and clinging desperately when he feels understood. In negotiation, he is bold, sometimes dangerously so. In conflict, he may act without strategy, driven by the need to prove himself. His mask does not hide who he is, it merely delays the revelation of his inner tempest. And yet, both men, despite their differences, share an instinctive understanding of human weakness. The psychopath exploits it with precision. The sociopath charges at it with passion. Both know how to manipulate trust, twist intentions, and influence outcomes. but their methods diverge like two paths carved by different forces of nature. To those around them, the distinction may not appear clear at first glance. Both can charm, both can deceive, both can forge relationships that feel genuine, but watch closely and patterns emerge. The psychopath maintains his mask effortlessly, never revealing emotion beyond what is useful. His calm is unbreakable, even under pressure. The sociopath, however, struggles to maintain consistency. His emotions surge unexpectedly, revealing cracks in his facade. Where the psychopath plans with icy patience, the sociopath lunges with heated impulse. These differences matter because they shape the roles each type plays in society. A psychopath may rise quietly, securing influence through meticulous strategy. He does not seek chaos, he seeks control. A sociopath, driven by emotion, may rise quickly in moments of upheaval, feeding off conflict and disorder. One thrives in structure, the other in disruption. Yet they share a peculiar similarity. Both understand that the world responds to masks more readily than to the truth. They know that people believe what they can see, what they can feel, and what they wish to trust. And so these individuals use their masks not merely as shields, but as instruments of power. The cold strategist hides his emptiness behind charisma, while the impulsive rebel hides his chaos behind passion. Each mask serves a purpose, each conceals a danger. As we delve deeper into these distinctions, the question that arises is not merely what are they, but how well do we distinguish between them? For countless rulers, merchants, and ordinary citizens have been undone because they mistook one mask for another, failing to recognize the nature of the person standing before them, or perhaps failing to recognize the nature within themselves. In every age, the world has been shaped not only by those who seek to do good, but by those who pursue power without regard for conscience. Psychopaths and sociopaths, though distinct in temperament, share a terrifying commonality: the ability to act decisively, ruthlessly, and without moral hesitation. Their ambition is guided not by honor or empathy, but by the relentless pursuit of influence, advantage, and control. To understand them is to understand the hidden architects of chaos and dominion, the men and women who bend the world to their will while feeling no moral restraint. The psychopath approaches power as an artisan approaches a craft. Every movement is deliberate, every interaction measured, every alliance assessed for utility. He sees the world as a chessboard, not a community, and he moves pieces with perfect attachment. Loyalty, love, friendship, these are tools, not bonds. He will feign devotion to a prince, a partner, or a confidant, all while calculating when to sever the tie for maximum advantage. In politics, in business, in the subtle games of influence, the psychopath excels because he feels nothing that might hinder his strategy. He does not hesitate, he does not falter, and he does not weigh conscience against gain. This absence of moral restraint grants him immense power, while others are bound by guilt, by fear of retaliation, or by lingering doubts. He proceeds with precision. A ruler, seeking to consolidate authority, may be paralyzed by the thought of harming allies or upsetting tradition. The psychopath, by contrast, acts decisively, exploiting opportunities that others will never seize. His brilliance lies not merely in cruelty, but in the absence of the human hesitation that often leads ordinary men to fail. The sociopath, however, approaches power from a different angle. He is less methodical than his colder counterpart, but no less dangerous. His drive is fueled by impulse and emotion, and while he may feel attachments or experience sudden anger, these do not prevent him from seeking dominance. The sociopath's path to influence is often chaotic, unpredictable, yet effective in moments of instability. He can mobilize loyalty through charisma, intimidation, or sheer force of personality, and his disregard for conventional morality allows him to act where others would hesitate. Where a psychopath calculates silently, a sociopath storms forward, confident that the world must yield to his energy. In both cases, the pursuit of power is untainted by conscience. A psychopath will manipulate, deceive, or betray, without remorse because he understands that morality is a weakness in the struggle for advantage. He does not question the fairness of the world, he seeks only to dominate it. The sociopath, while more prone to erratic behavior, shares this fundamental trait. Both operate according to a principle far older than any law. The world is governed not by sentiment, but by strength, cunning, and the capacity to act unencumbered by ethical hesitation. This quality explains why such individuals often ascend to positions of influence. They are able to make hard decisions, enforce obedience, and exploit opportunities others fear to touch. In the court of a prince, in the corridors of a corporation, in the hidden networks of society, they can rise swiftly because they are willing to do what others cannot or will not. To the naive observer, their ascent may seem sudden, unjust, or inexplicable. To the discerning eye, it is inevitable, guided by an unyielding logic devoid of moral distraction. Power without conscience is also power that terrifies those around it. Allies may find themselves caught between admiration and fear, drawn to the competence and confidence of these individuals, yet wary of their unpredictability. Enemies may crumble before them, not because of superior numbers, but because one cannot defend against someone who does not hesitate, who does not doubt, who does not care for the consequences that paralyze ordinary men. The psychopath and sociopath alike cultivate reputations that amplify their influence, the calm and calculated one as unassailable, the impulsive and volatile one as dangerous and unstoppable. Yet there is a subtle distinction in how they wield their power. The psychopath's methods are surgical, strategic, and often invisible. He will undermine a rival not with noise and chaos, but with carefully placed whispers, calculated betrayals, and manipulations designed to fracture alliances silently. He is the spider in the web, patient and precise, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The sociopath, in contrast, is like fire, bold, consuming, and sometimes uncontrollable. He wields power with charisma and intimidation, forcing compliance through the sheer weight of his presence. Both methods achieve dominance, but the former relies on patience, the latter on audacity. Understanding power without conscience is not merely an academic exercise, it is a lens through which we may recognize the hidden forces shaping our world. We encounter these traits in colleagues who charm and deceive, in leaders who manipulate and dominate, and in ourselves if we are willing to confront the darker potentials within our nature. Both psychopaths and sociopaths remind us that the absence of moral restraint can be terrifyingly effective, and that the pursuit of influence need not be shackled by empathy, remorse, or hesitation. This insight is particularly crucial in a world where appearances often mask reality. Those who wield power without conscience are masters of perception, crafting facades that conceal their true intentions. Their actions are deliberate, their strategies unrelenting, and their ambition limitless. The challenge for those who interact with them is to discern the underlying motive, to recognize the absence of ethical hesitation, and to understand that their pursuit of power is relentless, whether tempered by strategy or fueled by volatility. Psychopaths and sociopaths each demonstrate that morality is not a prerequisite for influence. In their pursuit of dominance, they exploit weaknesses, manipulate trust, and seize opportunities that ordinary men ignore. The absence of conscience, far from being a flaw, becomes a tool of mastery. Yet while they share this capacity, the difference in their approach, calculated precision versus impulsive aggression, shapes the nature of their influence, the scope of their reach, and the manner in which they are perceived by the world. Their power is a mirror held up to society, reflecting both the potential and the danger of ambition untempered by ethics. And in understanding it, one begins to see how easily order can be disrupted, alliances betrayed, and authority seized by those who act without hesitation, without guilt, and without moral restraint. Throughout the ages, men and women have sought power, and in that pursuit, they have revealed the deepest truths of human nature. Among them, the psychopath and the sociopath stand as living reflections of strategies once extolled by rulers, strategists, and philosophers. To observe them is to gaze into a Machiavellian mirror, for their behaviors echo the principles I once set forth in The Prince: the careful manipulation of perception, the measured application of cruelty, the unflinching pursuit of advantage, and the understanding that appearances often outweigh reality. By examining their conduct, we can see not merely disorder, but a method both terrifying and instructive for anyone who seeks to navigate the treacherous currents of human affairs. The psychopath embodies the qualities of a ruler who acts decisively, unburdened by the constraints of conscience. In every interaction, there is calculation, as if the world is a chessboard and each human being a piece to be moved or sacrificed. The psychopath observes weakness, measures loyalty, and exploits opportunity, not out of passion, but from a cool recognition of utility. Here is a creature who understands the principle I long emphasized: it is far safer to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. The fear he inspires is not sudden or erratic, it is measured, precise, and invisible until it manifests in his advantage. When a prince employs strategy in secrecy, appearing benevolent while acting decisively, he mirrors the psychopath's method. Though the psychopath does not concern himself with the welfare of a state, only with the advancement of self. The sociopath, by contrast, resembles the ruler who allows emotions to dictate the tempo of governance. He is bold, passionate, and impulsive, striking with sudden intensity where opportunities arise. In moments of chaos, his instincts allow him to seize advantage quickly, just as a commander might exploit a battlefield when others hesitate. Yet unlike the calculated ruler or the cold psychopath, he lacks the patience for long-term manipulation. His influence spreads like fire, consuming all that stands before him, but it may also burn his own foundations if unchecked. In this sense, the sociopath's method reflects the volatile elements of political life I described. Bold action may secure immediate gain, but without foresight, it risks collapse. Both the psychopath and the sociopath, in their pursuit of power, exploit the critical truth I observed in human behavior. Men judge by appearances rather than essence. The psychopath's calm and measured exterior is designed to conceal intent, fostering trust even while plotting betrayal. The sociopath, despite unpredictability, often uses charm and charisma to manipulate perception, ensuring that others believe what they wish to see rather than what is real. This manipulation of perception is the heart of the Machiavellian mirror. Success does not lie in virtue, but in the careful orchestration of image and impression. Those who appear competent, decisive, and reliable may wield influence far greater than those whose virtues are merely known to themselves. In governance, these traits are instructive. The psychopath mirrors the strategist who wields cruelty with precision, using it to secure loyalty or eliminate threats quietly and efficiently. He is patient, knowing that timing can magnify the effect of any action. He understands that to inspire fear without inciting rebellion requires subtlety, a principle every prince must master. The sociopath mirrors the more impulsive form of influence, a leader who relies on force, charisma, and audacity to impose will. His victories are swift and visible, but they demand constant vigilance to prevent the consequences of unpredictability from undoing his gains. Both forms of behavior, though extreme, illuminate the spectrum of human power, from calculated patience to passionate assertiveness. Both achieve dominance when others hesitate or falter. Consider the methods by which each type manipulates allies and rivals. The psychopath, like a master statesman, carefully engineers loyalty. He flatters, deceives, and provides just enough reward to maintain obedience, all while withholding enough truth to remain unchallenged. His manipulations are almost invisible, a whisper of influence in conversations, gestures, and arrangements. The sociopath, in contrast, does not weave subtle webs but strikes boldly. He intimidates, excites, or captivates those around him, demanding attention and compliance. Where the psychopath excels in subtlety, the sociopath excels in forceful presence. Both succeed in shaping outcomes, but they mirror different facets of the Machiavellian ideal, one as the invisible hand of calculated power, the other as the visible instrument of audacious control. Yet, it is not only in action that the mirror is clear, but in motivation. Psychopaths act without the interference of guilt, conscience, or remorse. reflecting the principle that a successful ruler may need to act against sentiment to achieve the state's, or one's own, ends. Sociopaths, though emotionally driven, still prioritize self-interest over collective morality, demonstrating that passion, when harnessed toward ambition, can rival calculation in its efficacy. Both reveal the underlying truth I emphasized: human behavior is guided not by abstract virtue, but by advantage, opportunity, and the mastery of perception. In the contemporary world, these reflections are everywhere. They are in the corridors of politics, in boardrooms, in social networks, and even within ourselves. By recognizing the psychopath and the sociopath as mirrors of the principles of influence, we understand that power often requires detachment from morality, that appearances must be controlled, and that strategic action outweighs naive virtue. The Machiavellian mirror shows us not only what these personalities are, but how the lessons they embody have guided rulers and strategists for centuries, revealing the hidden architecture of human domination. In the bustling streets of a city, in the quiet corners of an office, or within the familiar walls of a home, the presence of the psychopath or sociopath often goes unnoticed. They do not wear labels upon their foreheads, nor do they announce their intentions aloud. Instead, they blend seamlessly among the ordinary, carrying masks of charm, wit, or seeming kindness. Yet, if one observes closely, the hidden signs emerge, revealing the patterns of thought, behavior, and manipulation that distinguish these personalities from the rest. Recognizing these signs is a matter of perception, patience, and a willingness to see beneath appearances. The psychopath, with his polished exterior, is perhaps the most difficult to detect. He is calm, composed, and persuasive, presenting himself as trustworthy, competent, or even sympathetic. Yet beneath this veneer lies a mind that evaluates relationships as transactions, not bonds. One may notice that his empathy seems selective, applied only when it serves a purpose, or that he tells stories that captivate and charm, yet subtly manipulate others toward his advantage. He often mirrors the emotions of those around him, not to share in them, but to maintain influence. His attention is calculated. He remembers details not out of care, but to leverage them later. In everyday interactions, the psychopath may demonstrate behaviors that feel slightly off if one is attentive. He may charm effortlessly, yet maintain a subtle detachment from the struggles or suffering of others. He may excel at predicting reactions, seemingly anticipating thoughts before they are spoken, yet rarely reveals his own. His promises are tools, given to extract trust or gain, not to establish true commitment. In social gatherings, he may be the life of the conversation, appearing warm and engaged, yet each interaction is measured and every word is deliberate. He rarely displays genuine remorse, instead offering apologies that feel rehearsed or shifting blame onto circumstances or others. The sociopath, by contrast, is less controlled but equally revealing in subtle ways. He's impulsive, reactive, and often struggles to maintain consistency in behavior. His charm is raw, unpolished, and can be highly persuasive, but it often comes with volatility. A sociopath may form attachments quickly, intensely, and sometimes destructively, creating relationships that are stormy and unpredictable. Unlike the calculated calm of the psychopath, the sociopath's emotions are visible, though inconsistent, giving him away through sudden anger, exaggerated reactions, or unpredictable generosity. In the workplace, the differences can be striking yet subtle. A psychopath may excel in politics, quietly maneuvering to gain influence while maintaining a facade of competence and collegiality. He observes rivals, noting weaknesses and opportunities, and acts only when the strategic moment arrives. A sociopath, however, may dominate meetings through energy, intensity, or intimidation, rallying others around him with force of personality, yet leaving a trail of conflict in his wake. Both may succeed in gaining influence, but the signs, calm precision versus impulsive disruption, are visible to those who look carefully. In personal relationships, these hidden signs become even more nuanced. The psychopath may seem attentive and generous, yet the gestures are always calculated. aimed at maintaining control or extracting loyalty. He rarely engages in conflict openly, preferring subtle manipulations that preserve his advantage while undermining others. The sociopath, conversely, may show both affection and aggression, loyalty and betrayal, with a volatility that confuses and destabilizes those close to him. Friends or partners may find themselves constantly on edge, never knowing whether praise, anger, or withdrawal will come next. Language and speech can also serve as indicators. Psychopaths are often eloquent, persuasive, and highly controlled in their communication. They may repeat phrases or mimic expressions that resonate emotionally with others, but their words rarely convey true vulnerability. Sociopaths, while capable of persuasion, are less consistent, sometimes speaking before considering the consequences, revealing impulses and desires without restraint. Listening carefully, one may notice a pattern. The psychopath conceals, calculates, and aligns words with purpose. The sociopath reveals, reacts, and often destabilizes through speech. Even in ordinary life, the capacity to manipulate or exploit situations without conscience is a hidden sign. The psychopath may exploit trust in subtle ways, orchestrating events or conversations to serve his goals, while maintaining an unassuming exterior. The sociopath may disrupt social harmony, provoke conflicts, or test boundaries to see how others respond, sometimes impulsively and sometimes deliberately. Both behaviors, though distinct, demonstrate an understanding of human psychology far beyond ordinary experience. Observation of routine behaviors, decision-making, and social interactions reveals further clues. The psychopath is rarely flustered by setbacks, maintaining an unshakable calm and adjusting strategies with ease. The sociopath may become frustrated or enraged when control is threatened, yet this very volatility can be a tool for intimidation and influence. Both possess a keen ability to assess others, though the psychopath does so quietly and methodically, while the sociopath does so with boldness and immediacy. Even mundane habits may betray underlying tendencies. A psychopath may be meticulous, controlling and precise, applying the same strategic logic to personal habits, appearance, or planning as to social manipulation. A sociopath may demonstrate erratic patterns, inconsistent routines, or a disregard for consequences in daily life, reflecting the impulsive nature of his thinking. These patterns, subtle though they may be, accumulate into a recognizable signature for those who observe carefully. In essence, the hidden signs of psychopaths and sociopaths are all around us, woven into ordinary behaviors and interactions. They do not scream their intentions, they whisper them through patterns of thought, emotion, and influence. They exploit trust, manipulate perception, and bend ordinary interactions toward advantage, leaving behind subtle traces for the discerning observer. Recognizing these signs is not a matter of suspicion alone, but of careful attention, insight, and a willingness to perceive the truths that lie beneath appearances. For in ordinary life, extraordinary strategies of control and manipulation often unfold quietly, imperceptibly, and with devastating efficiency. The most dangerous mirror one can face is the reflection within oneself. To understand the nature of the psychopath or sociopath, one must first look inward, for these traits do not exist only in the distant figures of history or in the strangers we meet. They may reside, in subtle or overt ways, within our own minds. Self-interrogation is not an exercise in vanity or fear, but a disciplined inquiry, a method to examine the impulses, desires, and behaviors that guide our choices. To ask the difficult questions about ourselves is to hold a scalpel to the soul, to uncover motives that often remain hidden beneath the polite facade of civility or the comfort of routine. Consider first the psychopath, the individual who acts without conscience, without guilt, without remorse. To recognize such tendencies in oneself requires brutal honesty. Do you find yourself manipulating situations, not for the benefit of others, but to ensure your own advantage? Do you feel little regret when actions harm those around you, so long as your goals are achieved? Do you observe the emotions of others, not to empathize, but to exploit them for influence? These are not mere curiosities of character. They are reflections of a mind that prizes strategy over sentiment, outcome over morality. Next, consider the sociopath, whose emotional life is turbulent, passionate, and often impulsive. Ask yourself whether your decisions are driven more by immediate gratification or emotional reaction than by long-term consideration. Do your attachments to others shift rapidly, intensifying and dissolving unpredictably? Do you find it difficult to restrain anger, frustration, or desire, acting without concern for the consequences to yourself or those around you? Such traits, while less controlled than those of a psychopath, indicate a mind attuned to impulse, risk, and dominance, capable of both great energy and great destruction. Self-interrogation also demands examination of how one wields influence. Do you charm, persuade, or manipulate to achieve your objectives? Are your words chosen for effect, designed to secure advantage or compliance, rather than convey true intent? Psychopaths excel in subtlety. They shape perception and action quietly, invisibly, leaving others unaware of the forces moving them. Sociopaths rely more on intensity and audacity, yet the principle is the same. Influence is wielded as a tool, a means to an end. To recognize these tendencies in oneself is to confront the capacity for power untempered by morality, to acknowledge that one may bend circumstances to will with little concern for ethical restraint. The reflection deepens when considering empathy and conscience. Do you feel the suffering of others as a weight upon your own heart, or as information to be considered and acted upon strategically? Do you experience guilt or remorse when you transgress moral norms, or do you rationalize actions solely based on consequence, advantage, or necessity? The answers reveal whether one leans toward the detached calculation of the psychopath or the passionate volatility of the sociopath. Yet even small tendencies, when identified early, provide insight into how one navigates relationships, conflict, and ambition. Self-interrogation is not limited to observing failures or harmful impulses. It includes the recognition of strengths, the capacity for strategy, insight, and controlled ambition. To question oneself is to discern whether these traits serve virtue, self-interest, or harm. A mind capable of manipulation can also be disciplined, channeling insight into leadership, persuasion, or problem-solving without inflicting undue harm. The challenge lies in distinguishing awareness from indulgence, understanding traits without allowing them to dictate actions unconsciously. Practical reflection requires looking at patterns in behavior over time. How do you respond to conflict or betrayal? Do you retaliate with measured calculation or impulsive passion? How do you form bonds, alliances, or friendships? Are they grounded in mutual respect and empathy, or in potential utility and gain? These inquiries reveal the extent to which one exhibits psychopathic or sociopathic tendencies. They are not judgments of character, but careful observations of inclination, revealing both potential danger and potential mastery. Language, too, serves as a guide for self-interrogation. Observe how you speak to others. Do you adjust tone and content to manipulate outcomes? Do you carefully craft statements to influence perception, or speak with spontaneity that may hurt or sway without forethought? Words are instruments of power, and awareness of how you employ them indicates whether your influence is conscious and ethical or unconscious and self-serving. Even subtle daily decisions offer insight. How do you respond when rules or social norms conflict with your desires? Do you follow them out of respect or bend them when convenient? Do you act from impulse or principle? The psychopath disregards rules coldly. The sociopath disregards them with passion, but both rely on a keen sense of strategy or instinct. Recognizing these patterns allows one to measure their presence within oneself, to see not only potential danger, but also the capacity for control. Self-interrogation also extends to ambition and desire. Are your goals pursued with consideration of others, or solely for self-advancement? Do you exploit situations, alliances, or emotions for personal gain without hesitation? Do you recognize the power dynamics in every interaction, and if so, do you act ethically within them or exploit them unconsciously? These reflections illuminate the alignment between strategy, morality, and impulse. Ultimately, self-interrogation is an ongoing practice, a method to observe without judgment, to recognize tendencies without becoming enslaved to them. It requires courage to see the impulses and capacities that may otherwise remain hidden. Yet in this clarity lies both freedom and power. The mind that can perceive its own patterns, impulses, and potential for influence possesses the tools not only to understand others but to govern oneself, to wield power responsibly, and to navigate the treacherous currents of human interaction with insight and precision. In the end, the study of psychopaths and sociopaths is not merely an exercise in fear or fascination. It is a mirror held to the human condition. We have seen the masks they wear, the ways they pursue power without conscience, and the reflections they cast of the Machiavellian principles I once described. We have examined the hidden signs in ordinary life and confronted the most difficult question of all, the presence of these traits within ourselves. Understanding these personalities is not about labeling others, nor about condemning oneself. It is about awareness, recognizing patterns of thought, behavior, and influence that shape human interaction. The psychopath teaches us the power of strategy, detachment, and calm calculation. The sociopath teaches us the impact of passion, audacity, and unpredictability. Both reveal the potency of perception, manipulation, and the unyielding pursuit of advantage. Yet the ultimate lesson lies in mastery. Traits that may appear dangerous or destructive can, when understood and controlled, become tools of insight, leadership, and discernment. The wise observer discerns not only the tendencies of others, but the impulses within, harnessing knowledge without succumbing to it. In the theater of human behavior, where masks are worn and motives hidden, those who see clearly and act deliberately are the ones who navigate the world with both power and prudence. To confront the nature of the psychopath and sociopath is to confront the subtleties of ambition, influence, and control in every aspect of life. It is to recognize the fine line between advantage and manipulation, between insight and exploitation. In that recognition lies the ultimate strength, the ability to move through the world aware, vigilant, and unafraid, shaping both circumstances and self with the clarity of purpose that distinguishes the observer from the observed.